Hey Mila, good afternoon. It's Darren Weiss with TGI. I appreciate you giving James and I some time earlier today when we stopped by the office. As I had promised you, I am going to create a video to take you through the new Ricoh interface and kind of take you a little bit behind the scenes and then show you some kind of cool capabilities. One of the things that I told you with Ricoh is there's a few things. One, it is the #1 brand for office equipment in the world today. That and high-level Xerox equipment. Two, the machine from a sound standpoint is exceptionally quiet. And because your office space is somewhat almost like a community or fishbowl, as they call it, where people work right around the machine or in an office directly across from it versus being in a separate room or down the hall in a mail room, a quieter machine is going to make a big difference. So we're also configuring the machine with the additional paper trays, which is drawers 3 and 4, and the fax card will be included. From a dollars and cents standpoint, we talked about it'd be about 12 additional dollars at the end of the day for you to get a device that can store and handle and retrieve all of those network file share folders that you require. And I think right now you have about 201, 202. So what I did is I actually tapped into the interface of the Ricoh IMC 4500. And that's the machine that I happen to have right outside my office. So what I wanted to show you is if I maneuver over here, which I'm going to with the mouse, if I go over to my address book, you will see the address book load. As I start to scroll, you can see I've already put names in here that are actually your client names that I took off of your existing Kyocera machine when I used that software utility to retrieve the information and create it in a usable format for me to put into any machine that we show you. The problem with the Toshiba that's in your office is it's limited to the amount of scanning folders you could set up, which we didn't know in advance, but you really don't have as many limitations because as you could see, we've currently used 30 of 2,000 items here. So we certainly get a ton of destinations, whether they're network folders, email addresses that you want to put in there, a combination of both. You want to store fax numbers now that there'll be a fax card. So we wanted to show you the proof that I can keep adding scan folders to the network path that you've already provided to us through the information that I was able to retrieve off the current device. So also on our end, we're going to be using an import-export tool that's going to basically tell the device import an Excel file with data on it. So all of these addresses can be populated before we even deliver the unit on site. So essentially, you're ready to go with some small network settings and adjustments that need to be made. So if I wanted to add another destination, I click Add User. I select a folder, and we'll show you how to do this super easy. I could call it anything I want. I can call it Delray Authority. What do I want the key to say? When I'm touching the actual button itself, let's call it Delray Authority. I hit Next. I could put the network path in. Here you could see I already have some of yours. So I could essentially call it anything I want. We would put the login username, which I remember was boss. The password we also have as well. And then we would put the password in again, click next, and then OK. And now you'll see at the bottom, here's the new entry, Delray Authority, and I've just used 31 out of 2,000 slots. But I want to show you something super cool. This was just proof that we could put 2,000 destinations in and you're using about 200. This machine allows me to show you when I'm an employee and I walk up to the copier and I see the main display panel. This is actually the display panel. We're able to remotely control it, and we do it for this exact reason, for training purposes. So if I'm an employee and I want to scan to one of those folders that I just programmed, I could walk over to the machine and push Scanner Classic, one of the top buttons right here. Now the next screen is going to load. There's two types of destinations I could scan to. I could scan to email addresses, which are already highlighted. And I have one, two, three. I have Bergie, Ross D, and David G, three employees of TGI in our office machine. But if I click the next folder that says folder, here you can see I start to have all the destinations, and I could hit page up and down. As many as I put in, additional pages will allow me to select them. Another way, if you don't want to start scrolling through multiple pages, because if I have 200 entries and I'm looking at a screen that holds 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, instead of going through 22 pages of going up and down here from the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D's, we can index your scanned folders by alphabet. So anything that said Cornerstone would be in C and D. If I had anything that said Gregory, George, Garrison, it would be GH. So I can quickly pick up any scanned folder server destination just by selecting the alphabet, essentially like using a Rolodex. So I just wanted you to see that I could have them as one touch buttons here on the screen, and I could hit your client Echo Collection right here. Once I select it, you see up here at the top, it has the network path of where I'm going. If I wanted to send it to somebody else, I could highlight another. Now it tells me there's two folder destinations at the top. And then what I would do once I select the destination of my path, I can click Start, and it'll send it off to that destination. But I want to show you something else that the Ricoh machines can do that very few other brands even offer. If I hit the home button down here on the screen, it takes me back to the main page. If I wanted to send a fax, I could hit fax. I could also store fax numbers, alphabetize them here. I could specify a destination. I could manually type a number, then hit finish and start. But something even cooler, if you don't mind me saying, is like if you have an iPhone, you go to the App Store and you could download apps. Ricoh has a built-in app store called Application Site that you see on the screen. When I click Application Site, what happens is right now the copier through your network is going out to the internet to basically a repository that Ricoh hosts at Ricoh Direct with all types of apps that you could download directly to this machine. Super cool. Some of them are free and some of them are paid. So this is actually the page that just loaded. It says we have information on the new applications. But if I start scrolling, you can see they're indicated in the bottom right corner. Some say free, some say paid, some say trial. One of them that insurance companies like is they like this that you see on the screen here. Wait, let me scroll down a little bit. I'm using a mouse. Where you'd be using your finger, it would be a little more sensitive. ID card scanning copy. So if I take somebody's driver's license, or I'm dealing with insurance cards, identification cards, I can put one side of the card down on the glass and push a button to scan it. Then I lift the lid, I flip the card over, and I scan the back side of the ID. Then I push scan again, and what happens is it will give me a printed out copy that has the front and back on one side page. There's also a similar function called right below it, ID card copy. So there's a couple of cool applications. Many are free that you could download directly to the panel and take advantage according to industry. So I'm going to hit home now and get back to the home button. So basically, you're getting the best that the industry has to offer. You have a built-in app store. It's a quieter machine overall. We need about $12 a month more. And I wanted you to see that there was some real proof that I can store up to 2,000 items in the address book that we are working to import and have it ready to go before the unit is even delivered. So hopefully that helps make the decision a little easier. Let me know if you have any questions. We respect and value your time.